Her keys rattled in the lock. She set down her bag, sighing, the smell of fresh coffee lingering in the air. Her phone buzzed. 3 missed calls. She swiped them away. Work, she thought. Probably nothing important. The kettle whistled. Steam curled in the morning light. She poured the water carefully, noticing a sticky note fluttering on the fridge. Call me back. Please. She laughed quietly. Her friend was always dramatic. She set the note aside, thinking of it no more. A shadow shifted across her driveway. She glanced out the window. Nothing. Just the sunlight bouncing off the white picket fence. Still, a shiver ran down her spine. Her phone vibrated again. A message. The sender's name made her chest tighten. She trusted him. Always. I'm outside. Are you alone? She smiled nervously and locked the door behind her. Of course I'm fine, she whispered to herself. The front door clicked. Something about the sound made her pause. But she ignored it. By nightfall, her phone buzzed constantly. Voicemails piled up. Unanswered texts from friends and family. The street was quiet. Too quiet. A neighbor noticed the lights flickering and then went dark. Her apartment remained still. Her bed neatly made. But she wasn't there. Police were called. A search began. Panic crept slowly, silently, through every hallway, every corner of her life. The authorities ruled it an accident. She had slipped at home, they said. Friends nodded, uneasy. Family hesitated. Nothing about it felt right. The bruises, the scattered messages, the unanswered calls, didn't fit the story. Accidents happen, they repeated. But her instincts whispered something else. Everyone wanted relief. No one wanted to believe what was really true. The official story came quickly. It was neat, precise, the kind of story that gives everyone relief. Accident, the report said. That she had slipped, tripped, lost her footing in her own home. It was sudden. Tragic. But ordinary. Her friends nodded when they heard it. Their voices carried the polite quiet of people who want life to make sense. Her family, initially silent, eventually repeated the words, "It was an accident." They clung to it, not because it was true, but because the alternative was unbearable. Yet, even as the words passed from lips to lips, unease settled in corners of the apartment. The kettle she had boiled that morning still rested on the counter. Her keys were in the bowl by the door, arranged just as she always left them. The sticky note from that morning still lay untouched, "Call me back. Please." It was harmless in ordinary circumstances. Now, it felt ominous. Her phone became the silent witness of the day she vanished. Every notification, every message left unanswered, told a story that didn't match the official narrative. It wasn't an accident, the messages suggested. She had tried to reach out. She had tried to scream. Police photographs arrived. Clinical, precise. Nothing appeared out of place. A mug on the counter. Shoes by the door. A couch cushion slightly askew. Nothing betrayed the terror behind closed doors. But subtle signs existed. A chair turned slightly, a photo on the wall tilted, the bedroom door closed but not latched properly. Each isolated detail seemed minor. Together, they whispered a story no one yet wanted to hear. Neighbors recounted small anomalies. A car parked unusually long outside. A shadow passing a window. Each seemed trivial alone, but the pattern emerged. Her habits, the lights left dim, small precautions, spoke of a woman who understood danger before anyone else. Bruises, initially dismissed as minor, were patterned and deliberate. Her family questioned quietly. It doesn't make sense. Could this really be an accident? The media echoed the official narrative, local woman dies in tragic home accident. Social media mourned briefly, then moved on. The official story comforted many, but the evidence, in the apartment, in her messages, suggested otherwise. The tragic logic became clear. Everyone believed the story because it was easy. It was neat. It made sense. But underneath, something darker waited, patiently, for someone to notice. The official story seemed neat, but those close to her noticed inconsistencies. Messages, unread and frantic, blinked on her phone. Please, don't come in. Another, I think he's here. Small words, heavy with fear. Neighbors' accounts added unease. A car parked too long. Shadows glimpsed across windows. Each seemed trivial until repeated, forming a subtle pattern. Inside her apartment, small details whispered danger. A chair slightly off, a window left open, the sticky note still untouched. Alone, these details were insignificant. Together, they formed a silent warning. Her family noticed bruises, dismissed initially by doctors as minor. But the pattern suggested intent, not accident. Friends recalled her hesitation before opening doors, the dim lights, small precautions, all signals overlooked. Her phone was a silent witness, voicemails unheard, messages ignored. Security footage showed a figure in the hallway at odd hours. Missing segments coincided with her last movements. These cracks grew as friends examined her apartment. Notes, messages, personal items, each contradicted the accident narrative. Her planner showed disrupted routines, her life interrupted. Police statements, once reassuring, now sounded hollow. No evidence of foul play, they said. The overlooked messages, shadows, and gaps told a different story. Tension mounted. Every object, every sound in her apartment, every unanswered call pressed on those who cared for her. Fear had been ignored once, it was unbearable to ignore it again. The cracks were impossible to ignore. The official story was incomplete, built on omissions, comforting only because it ignored reality. The next act, the dark discovery, was waiting. Her phone glowed on the counter. The last message she sent, please, he's here. 10 minutes before the supposed accident. Autopsy revealed deliberate marks, patterned and intentional. Someone had entered her home, someone she trusted. Friends found notes she had written, messages unsent. Each contradicted the official report. Every overlooked warning painted a portrait of fear and struggle. Objects in her apartment whispered secrets, a chair moved, a window open, items subtly displaced. Security footage showed a shadow leaving. The accident story collapsed. She had called for help, but no one answered. It was intentional. It was betrayal. Her friends and family realized the danger had been inside her home, inside her life, hidden behind trust. The dark discovery was not just evidence, it was the betrayal itself. The truth arrived uninvited. And it was worse than anyone imagined. He wasn't a stranger. He had smiled, remembered details, earned her trust. The small signs, unread messages, uneasy moments, were warnings she hadn't fully recognized. Every friendly gesture now bore sinister weight. Security footage revealed him entering her apartment at the time of disappearance. Manipulation had been subtle, hidden behind normalcy. Betrayal cut deepest, she had welcomed him into her life. Trust became a weapon. The pieces fell into place. Her careful vigilance was no match for the one she trusted implicitly. The person who wielded that trust had vanished before anyone could stop him. The accident story shattered. Messages, timestamps, security footage all contradicted the official narrative. Friends and family pieced together overlooked notes and frantic texts. The official explanation fell apart. Her world unraveled. Every precaution, every trusted routine, failed. The betrayal was absolute. The one person she had welcomed had turned trust into a weapon. Truth and lies collided. She had been trapped, helpless, calling for help that never came. The collapse left grief, confusion, and the haunting question, how could trust have been so deadly? Investigation stalled. Files disappeared, witnesses went silent. Her family grieved privately, replaying her last messages, her smiles, her warnings. Friends wondered if they could have done more. The man who betrayed her vanished. Courtrooms echoed emptily, justice was elusive. Social media mourned briefly, then moved on. Her life, once full of careful routines, was reduced to fragments, overlooked evidence, whispered questions. Grief and anger remained unresolved. Even in absence, her presence haunted the spaces she had called safe. The street is quiet. Windows remain shut. Her phone lies untouched. Small traces of her life linger, a chair, a note, a coffee cup, markers of absence. Friends and family live with the echo of betrayal and missed warnings. Trust cost her life. The danger, hidden in familiarity, remains unseen, unresolved. The case lingers like a faint pulse, unanswered, unclosed. And one thought persists, chilling: the person who could have saved her never spoke again.